Welcome back, Deep Divers. Today we are taking a look at the most subscribed channels on YouTube.
The biggest of the big.
We've got articles and data galore to unpack.
A real treasure trove.
So get ready to uncover some insights about what's making these channels tick.
And maybe even learn a thing or two about how YouTube's changed over the years.
All right, let's get this deep dive started.
Okay, sounds good.
So, as of January 2025, who's sitting on that YouTube throne?
Oh, that's an easy one. MrBeast.
MrBeast, he's officially dethroned the longtime champ T-Series.
Ending a reign that really a lot of people thought would never end.
It was a pretty impressive run. But MrBeast, he's sitting at a mind-blowing 341 million subscribers.
And gaining around 200,000 new ones every single day. Wild, right?
It's incredible. His content, those big budget spectacles. I mean, did you see the one where he recreated Squid Game?
I did. He really went all out. I think that's a big part of his appeal.
Definitely. It's pure entertainment.
Right.
And, you know, I can't help but think there's also a bit of that avenging PewDiePie energy fueling his rise.
Oh, for sure. The echoes of that whole T-Series battle are still there.
Oh, it was such a phenomenon, that rivalry. And speaking of T-Series, let's not forget their achievements.
Oh yeah, they were pioneers.
First to hit that 100 million subscriber mark back in 2019, they're still a major force with 283 million subscribers.
Their music videos, the Bollywood influence, they've tapped into a global audience.
It's impressive. Okay, we can't talk about YouTube giants without mentioning the legend PewDiePie.
The OG.
He held that top spot for the longest time, over 5 years, 1,920 days to be exact.
Crazy.
And he really shaped the landscape of YouTube gaming.
Oh, absolutely. Pave the way for so many.
And even though he stepped back from that daily grind, he still commands a following of 110 million subscribers.
Incredible staying power. It's really interesting when you think about it.
Yeah. A MrBeast, an American entertainer, T-Series, this Indian music and film company.
And PewDiePie, Swedish gamer.
A really global mix.
Exactly. And that global diversity is something we see throughout the top 50 most subscribed channels.
So what are we seeing in terms of languages?
Well, English and Hindi are the most common, which makes sense given the reach of both.
Yeah, definitely.
22 English language channels and 15 Hindi. But there's so much variety beyond that.
Content-wise, I mean.
Yeah. Music, kids entertainment, education. You've got comedy, sports, all sorts.
And to even crack that top 50, you're talking massive numbers.
Over 57 million subscribers, minimum. It's crazy.
It's a whole other level of startup.
Absolutely. And one thing that really stands out is the popularity of children's content.
Oh yeah, the kids are running the show. Coco Melon, Vlad and Nikki, Kids Diana Show, like Nastya, all huge.
They pull in billions of views.
Billion, with a B. I mean, Coco Melon alone has 187 million subscribers.
And they're sitting comfortably at number 3 on the list.
Yeah, it makes you wonder why that genre is so popular on YouTube.
Well, that's the conversation for another time.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a deep dive of its own.
For sure. Okay, so we've looked at who's dominating the charts now.
The current heavyweights.
But I'm curious about the early days. Like, who was the very first channel to claim that top spot?
Well, believe it or not, it was Smosh.
Smosh. I haven't heard that name in ages.
Way back in 2006, they started with a tiny following, just under 3,000 subscribers.
3,000.
2,986 to be exact. And they blew up with their comedy skits and lip sync videos.
That's a far cry from the hundreds of millions we're talking about now.
Right. It just goes to show how much YouTube has transformed from those early days of home videos to now.
Were there any other names from that era that might ring a bell for our listeners?
Oh yeah, a bunch. There was Lonely Girl 15, a fictional web series that had everyone hooked.
Ah, I remember Lonely Girl 15.
Yeah. And Brookers, one of the first YouTubers to really hit the mainstream.
Vlogging pioneer.
Exactly. And then you had Fred Figglehorn with his unique voice and wacky humor.
And Ryan Higa with those hilarious sketches. Oh, and Ray William Johnson.
His Equals 3 series.
Oh yeah, that was big.
Huge!
It's amazing to see how it's all evolved. Smosh, PewDiePie, now MrBeast.
Such different creators, different eras.
It shows how audience tastes have changed too.
And how YouTube itself has adapted.
Right. It's gone from a platform for amateur creators to a place where you see professional level production.
Budgets, global reach.
It's wild, but it makes you think, why should we care who's at the top of YouTube?
That's the key question, isn't it?
What's the significance of all this?
Well, at the end of the day, we watch what we enjoy. The content has to connect with us.
Sure, but I feel like there's got to be more to it than that.
Oh, definitely. Looking at these most subscribed channels, it can actually give us a deeper understanding of how media is changing.
Okay, I like that.
It reveals what's grabbing the attention of millions globally. What trends are popping up, how entertainment's evolving.
So it's like a window into the minds of YouTube viewers.
Exactly. It can even help us understand our own viewing habits, what we're drawn to and why.
Interesting.
It's all connected.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
It's more than just entertainment. It's a cultural phenomenon. And it can be a pretty powerful mirror, you know.
Yeah, reflecting our digital selves back at us.
And you know, you can't talk about this without mentioning the impact it has on the creators themselves.
Oh, absolutely. The subscriber count, the views.
We're talking major financial success.
Brand deals, opportunities.
Some even make the leap to traditional media.
It's crazy.
And it's a good reminder of how powerful those online communities are.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Think back to that avenging PewDiePie thing we were talking about earlier. That's a perfect example of how invested audiences can get.
They pick their favorites and they really root for them.
It's like a fandom rivalry, but it's happening on this massive global scale.
It's almost like a sporting event in a way.
Exactly. And, you know, like any competition, it can have its downsides too.
Oh, for sure.
You can get negativity, online toxicity. We saw that, remember, during the whole PewDiePie versus T-Series saga?
It can get pretty ugly.
Yeah. It's a good reminder that the internet, as much as it connects us,
It's still a place where emotions can run high,
yeah, and actions have consequences.
even when it's all happening online.
Absolutely. And, you know, for the creators, I imagine there's a ton of pressure
To keep those audiences engaged.
constantly having to deliver.
Which makes you wonder, is it sustainable? Can they keep this up?
That's a great question. Like, how long can they keep churning out content?
And keep those audiences coming back for more?
Right. Especially when you have channels like MrBeast.
Multiple videos a week, each one with this crazy level of production.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling how they do it.
It's like a full-time job times 10.
And then the viewers, you have to wonder if they'll experience some kind of burnout.
From the constant barrage of content.
Yeah, will there be a shift, do you think, where viewers start to prioritize quality over quantity?
Maybe. Or maybe the demand for more will just keep growing.
It's tough to say. It does seem like, for now, at least, the trend is towards bigger,
Older.
more extravagant. It's almost like an arms race, in a way.
Who can create the most outrageous, attention-grabbing content?
And you know, this actually ties into something we talked about earlier,
Oh, yeah.
the children's content.
That dominance in the top 50.
It's a fascinating phenomenon.
I mean, there's definitely been a lot of talk about it.
A lot of debate about the impact of these videos on young viewers.
Some say it's educational,
Some say it's too stimulating.
possibly even addictive.
It's a tough one. There are no easy answers.
It's a complex issue for sure.
It's something, though, that we need to keep talking about.
Absolutely, especially as YouTube becomes more and more a part of kids' lives.
And it's not just about the content itself.
Right.
We also have to consider the algorithms.
Oh yeah, how could we forget those?
They play such a huge role in what we see.
Curating our online experience.
The recommendation engine is designed to keep us watching.
Hooked.
Yeah, but the downside is it can create these echo chambers
Filter bubbles.
where we're only exposed to content that reinforces what we already believe.
It's like the algorithm is like trapping us in our own little worlds.
It can be a bit unnerving when you think about it.
Yeah.
That's why I think, you know, media literacy is more important than ever.
Oh, absolutely. We need to understand how these algorithms work
How they're shaping what we see and how we think.
so we can be more conscious consumers of content.
Exactly.
It's been a pretty thought-provoking conversation so far.
It really has. We've talked about YouTube's history, the current landscape,
With trends, the challenges.
cultural impact.
What's standing out to you the most?
I think, for me, it's the sheer scale of YouTube.
Yeah.
It's amazing how this platform that started with, you know, people sharing funny cat videos,
Has become this global force.
shaping culture, connecting people from all over the world.
I totally agree, and it's pretty inspiring to see how individual creators have built these huge audiences.
Their own little empires.
Yeah. And they're influencing conversations on a global scale.
Yeah, it's pretty
It
remarkable.
shows that the media landscape is, constantly in flux.
Always changing.
And as viewers, we're not just passive observers.
We have a role to play in shaping this digital world.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive into YouTube's most subscribed, I'm left with a big question.
Let's hear it.
With the rise of these short-form video platforms, TikTok, Instagram Reels,
Oh yeah, they're everywhere these days.
can YouTube really hold on to its crown?
Good question.
Or are we witnessing the beginning of a new era in online video?
It's something to think about, that's for sure.
As we navigate this crazy, ever-shifting digital world.
It's a wild ride. Yeah, it really makes you wonder what the future holds for online video. Will YouTube be able to keep up with these newer platforms, or are we going to see people, kind of spread out with different platforms catering to different tastes?
It does feel like we're at this turning point. You've got YouTube, this giant, right?
Wow.
With its massive library of content reaching pretty much everyone. But then there's TikTok, Instagram Reels, all about those short, snappy videos.
And it's not just about the platforms themselves. It's about how we're consuming media these days. We've got so much coming at us, so many options, and, well, our attention spans aren't exactly getting longer.
It's like we're chasing that next dopamine hit, that next viral video that's going to grab us for a few seconds and then poof, on to the next one.
And that's where TikTok and Reels, they really nail it. They're all about that quick burst of entertainment, perfect for, our increasingly distracted minds.
So where does that leave YouTube?
Well, they haven't ignored it, that's for sure. They launched Shorts, their own short-form video thing, trying to compete head-on with TikTok and Reels.
It makes sense. They're adapting, trying to give viewers what they want, those quick hits of content you can watch anywhere.
But the question is, can they really capture that same, energy, that same buzz that's made TikTok so popular?
It's a tall order.
Yeah.
TikTok, it's tapped into this cultural moment. It's really resonating, especially with younger audiences.
It's not just about the short videos, is it? It's about the trends, the challenges, the music, that whole sense of community.
Exactly. It's a vibe. So YouTube, they might have the money, the reach, but it's hard to say if they can truly replicate that magic.
It'll be really interesting to see how it all unfolds. Will YouTube stay on top, or will a new queen of online video emerge?
I'll have to wait and see.
One thing's for sure, the world of online video, it's more, more competitive and dynamic than ever.
Absolutely.
And that's a good thing, right? For us, the viewers. More choices, more variety, more chances to find something new and exciting.
And it's a good reminder to be, more mindful about how we're consuming all this media. With so much content out there, it's easy to get swept up in it all. But it's worth thinking about how we spend our time online,
Yeah, making conscious choices about what we watch, why we watch it, and what it all, what it all means.
Yeah.
So that wraps up our deep dive into YouTube's most subscribed channels. We've gone from the early days to the current stars, explored the trends, talked about the challenges, and hopefully we've given you a few things to think about when it comes to your own relationship with YouTube and the ever-changing world of online video. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll catch you next time.